Have you ever wondered about the singular event that paved the way for British colonial rule in India? Let's journey back in time to the sultry summer of 1757, to the lush landscapes of Bengal, where a battle was about to change the course of Indian history forever, the Battle of Plassey. This wasn't just a battle, it was a turning point, a catalyst that would set the stage for nearly 2 centuries of British rule in India. A fiery encounter between forces led by Robert Clive of the British East India Company and the Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Daulah, with Mir Jafar playing a pivotal role in the proceedings. These 3 figures were not just characters in a battle, they were architects of a new era. Their actions, their decisions, their betrayals and alliances would shape the future of an entire subcontinent. This battle was more than just a clash of arms, it was a clash of destinies. So how did this significant battle come about, you might ask? Well, let's set the stage. In the mid-18th century, the Indian subcontinent was a patchwork of kingdoms and principalities, a vivid mosaic of political entities. Amidst this diversity, the British East India Company, a powerful trading corporation from a distant island, was trying to secure its foothold. It had been granted far-reaching privileges by the Mughal emperor to trade in Bengal, but these privileges were often misused, leading to friction with the local rulers. The Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Daulah, was particularly irked by the company's audacity. The British were fortifying their trading post in Calcutta, a move that the Nawab saw as a direct threat to his sovereignty. He was not going to sit idle while foreign merchants turned traders into soldiers on his land. The tension escalated with the infamous Black Hole incident. In June of 1756, the Nawab's forces attacked and seized the British fort in Calcutta. In the chaos, a large number of British prisoners were allegedly confined in a small dungeon-like room, the Black Hole of Calcutta. The incident, though shrouded in controversy, was a spark that ignited the tinderbox. The British East India Company was outraged. They wanted retribution, and more importantly, they wanted to secure their interests in the wealthy region of Bengal. This was not just a dispute over trading privileges anymore. It was a battle for dominance, a struggle for control over the riches of Bengal. The British East India Company, with its superior naval power and strategic cunning, was ready to take on the Nawab's forces. On the other side, Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah, a young and relatively inexperienced ruler, was determined to protect his land and assert his authority. The stage was set for a showdown that would change the course of history. The Battle of Plassey was imminent, and its outcome would forever alter the destiny of the Indian subcontinent. The Battle of Plassey, a dramatic turn of events. It all began on a sweltering morning on the 23rd of June, 1757. The 2 armies, the British East India Company led by Robert Clive and the forces of Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah, stood facing each other on the battlefield. The air was thick with anticipation, the calm before the storm. The first wave of the battle started with a fierce artillery duel. The British cannons, although fewer in number, were superior in technology and range. They rained fire upon the Nawab's forces, causing significant damage. The Nawab's artillery, though mighty in number, struggled to match the precision and power of the British guns. As the day wore on, the skies turned grey, and a torrential downpour began. The rain, as if nature's intervention, added a new layer of complexity to the unfolding drama. The Nawab's forces, seeing the rain as a divine sign of victory, decided to hold their position, waiting for the British to make their move. Meanwhile, an unexpected twist was about to unfold. Mir Jafar, the commander of Nawab's army, had secretly pledged his allegiance to the British. As the rain subsided, instead of charging forward, he held his forces back. The battlefield was filled with confusion and chaos. The Nawab's army, expecting their commander to lead the charge, was left in disarray. Seizing the moment, the British forces under the command of Robert Clive launched a counterattack. The Nawab's forces, leaderless and confused, began to crumble under the British onslaught. The battlefield, once filled with the roars of cannons and the cries of soldiers, began to quiet down, the echoes of the British victory resonating in the air. With Mir Jafar's betrayal, the fate of the battle was sealed. The Nawab, realizing the treachery, tried to rally his troops, but it was too late. The British forces swept across the battlefield, capturing Siraj-ud-Daulah and declaring victory. The Battle of Plassey, a clash of power, strategy, and deceit, had come to an end. The Battle of Plassey was over, but its impact was just beginning to be felt. The victory marked a significant turning point in Indian history. It laid the foundation for the British Empire's rule in India, an era that would last for almost 200 years. The reverberation of this battle were felt far and wide, changing the course of history forever. So, what happened after the dust of the battle settled? In the aftermath of the Battle of Plassey, the landscape of Indian politics was forever altered. The British East India Company, with its victory, had effectively laid the groundwork for a new era. The once mighty Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah was replaced by Mir Jafar, the man who had betrayed his own leader to side with the British. However, Mir Jafar was not a ruler in the truest sense. He was more of a puppet, his strings pulled by the British, who now held considerable sway over the region. The installation of Mir Jafar marked the beginning of British political influence in India. The East India Company had not only won a battle, but they had also won the right to collect taxes, a privilege that would prove to be a huge economic boost. This was the genesis of the company's rule, a rule that was to last for nearly 2 centuries. But what did this mean for the Indian subcontinent? The implications were far-reaching. The Battle of Plassey was more than just a military conflict. It represented a shift in power dynamics, a change that would shape the course of Indian history. The British East India Company, with its newfound power, began to extend its influence across the region. They used a combination of political manipulation, economic exploitation, and military force to bring numerous Indian states under their control. The era of company rule had begun, and with it came a period of extensive economic and political transformation. The effects of the Battle of Plassey were not limited to the political arena. They permeated every aspect of Indian society, reshaping the economy, altering social structures, and transforming cultural norms. The battle marked the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter that would see the Indian subcontinent under foreign rule. The Battle of Plassey was indeed a turning point in Indian history. The aftermath of this battle set the stage for the British Raj, a period that would have lasting impacts on the Indian subcontinent, impacts that are still felt to this day. So, why does the Battle of Plassey hold such an important place in Indian history? In the span of a brief 10 minutes, we've journeyed together through the prelude, the stage setting, the unfolding of the battle, and its aftermath. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the significance of the Battle of Plassey, a single day's event that changed the course of Indian history. It was on that fateful day of June 23, 1757, that the seeds were sown for over 2 centuries of British colonial rule in India. The Battle of Plassey was not just a military confrontation, but a turning point that marked the beginning of an era that would reshape the Indian subcontinent in ways unimaginable. The battle was significant, not for its scale or grandeur, but for the alliances that were formed, the betrayals that were committed, and the strategic cunning that was displayed. It was a chess game played on a battlefield where Siraj-ud-Daulah, the Nawab of Bengal, was checkmated by the astute Robert Clive of the British East India Company. The Battle of Plassey was a testament to the power of alliances. Mir Jafar's betrayal of the Nawab in favor of the British East India Company was a striking example of how alliances could make or break empires. This battle was a stark reminder that alliances, rather than brute force, often determined the victors in the Game of Thrones. The aftermath of the battle had far-reaching consequences. It paved the way for the British East India Company to establish its monopoly over the rich resources of the Indian subcontinent, leading to an era of exploitation and cultural transformation. In conclusion, the Battle of Plassey is not just a chapter in history books. It is a story of power, alliances, betrayal, and change. A story that continues to echo in the annals of Indian history, influencing the country's past, present, and future. The Battle of Plassey, a pivotal moment in history, serves as a stark reminder of the power of alliances, betrayal, and the far-reaching consequences of a single event.